for it not to get even bigger. It was $1,200 or $1,300 a year to be a fan. You know, this year it's going to be $120 next year, something like that for the entire year. So
starting 2026 of the new Paramount Plus deal, to be able to keep up and watch UFC, watch every single event, it's only going to cost us $120 a year. Yup. You guys, I got 3 things to talk about from the UFC 323 post-press conference that Dana White was asked. Now, if you're watching UFC, you're keeping up with it, you have an ESPN Plus account, plus what, the 14 pay-per-views in a whole calendar year, that's $80 a month, sometimes $160 in 1 month. You end up coming out and paying around more than $1,200, more than $1,200, all right? Well, at the post-press conference, Dana White explained that next year's subscription to be able to keep up with the UFC is only going to be $120. Now, whether or not that's true, we're going to find out. But if it is, I'm telling you guys right now, dude, that is absolutely breaking news, okay? I hope they're not trying to pull something off that, you know, the way Boxing and DAZN and Turkey al-Sheikh, a partner of Dana White and Zuffa Boxing, did to a lot of the boxing fans, you know, specifically me. You know, I signed up for the DAZN Ultimate subscription plan, which is $45 a month, guaranteeing free pay-per-views for the whole year. There was a loophole in it. It turns out you're paying $45 a month for an ultimate plan, but you're only getting 1 free pay-per-view a year, when sometimes there's 3 pay-per-views in 1 goddamn month. So you're still getting scammed, bro. You're still getting scammed. It wasn't entirely truthful. It's only 1 pay-per-view for 12 months. That's 12 pay-per-views when there could be 30 pay-per-views. You're still not getting it for free. So what did I do? I canceled my DAZN subscription. We are not paying for that anymore. Back to the Fire Stick boys, because they want to charge insane amounts of money for us to watch boxing. Now, Dana White says that it's only going to cost $120 for a whole year, which basically means that's $10 a month without pay-per-views. I don't know if this is entirely true. It might end up going up to, instead of $120 a year, paying $500 a year. But if it is, that's absolutely breaking news, all right, my people? That's going to be coming January 24th. We will be hearing about the subscription plans probably in the beginning of January, which I can't wait for. Now, another thing that he talked about at UFC 323, you had one of the media guys ask him, Arman Tsarukyan is the odd man out. What is next for Arman Tsarukyan?
Wait, Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the odd man out now. We expect Ilya to be unifying against the interim title winner, which would, you know, make a long runway for his title.
I wouldn't say that he's the odd man out. You know, he had an opportunity, and you guys know how that played out, and he's gonna have to work his way back. I don't give a shit what the number says. He's gonna have to work his way back. There's just too much goes into this for those type of things to happen.
It looks like Arman Tsarukyan will not be getting any title shot anytime soon. And in my opinion, based off what Dana White said, he still needs to get another fight in before he even has the thoughts of being talked about being put into another title shot fight, my friends. Whether or not it's going to be against Ilia Topuria, we don't know. Ilia's going to be out until spring. He might even come back to the welterweight division. He might not even come back to the lightweight division, okay? For now, we are going to see. But Arman Tsarukyan, in my opinion, is the odd man out. He is, all right? That's why the media guy asked a question like that, Dana White. You're saying he's not the odd man out, but he is. When you look at the UFC rankings, from 1 all the way to number 9 is basically booked now. Only Mateusz Gamrot is the only fighter from rank number 1 to number 9 that does not have a fight, right? Charles Oliveira's facing Max Holloway. Okay, Paddy Pimblett is facing Justin Gaethje. Boom, your top 5 fighters just like that. Arman's ranked number 1. Then you also got Dan Hooker with the announcement that he's going to be taking on BSD. You got Rafael Fiziev who's coming back. And the only person that I see in the top 10 opponents that are left for a fight with Arman Tsarukyan who aren't busy is Mateusz Gamrot and Renato Moicano. Moicano. Yes. Is that who you guys are going to give Arman next? He is definitely the odd man out. Now, you know, we've already made our fair share of reactions, reacting to some of the matchmaking that has been going down recently. You know, putting Justin Gaethje in there without putting Arman in there in the interim fight against Paddy Pimblett is wrong, all right? Lerone Murphy, Movsar Evloev, them not competing for interim shot in their last fight, them not competing in their next fight, you know, possibly for a world title shot, them not competing for a title shot now, was driving a lot of people absolutely insane. But there's one thing that I want to talk to you guys about, okay? We may be as heated as ever, but there's one person that actually knows what's going on, and that's Arman Tsoukian. Just in case you guys don't remember, the reason why, you know, Dana White and the UFC don't like Arman Tsoukian in the first place, he was supposed to fight at UFC 311 January 18th against Islam Makhachev in a highly anticipated rematch, right? And just, you know, the night before, literally one day before, Arman Tsoukian pulls out with an aggravated back injury. Now, Dana White and the company felt like this was untruthful. We felt like maybe the reason why Arman Tsoukian canceled the fight was because he was having weight problems. Maybe that's why. There's a whole lot of things that goes into this, but I seen a video of Arman Tsoukian talking about, no, bro, seriously, I had a significant back injury. It was absolutely bad. He talked with Ariel Helwani on this subject, okay? And during that interview, if you guys don't remember, he says he accepts what Dana White is going to give to him. Dana White talked to him and told him he needs to fight one fight when he possibly comes back, right? Somebody like, he wanted to fight Charles Oliveira. He wanted to fight somebody like that. Instead, they gave him Dan Hooker. But he also said that he understands after that fight, which he thought was going to be with Charles Oliveira, if the UFC wants to give him one more, he has no problem with that, okay? So when we rewatched this film with Ariel Helwani, I realized, yo, what are we getting mad about? Arman Tsoukian and Dana White know what's going on.
He knows what's going on. I don't give a shit what everybody else says. You know, he knows what's going on, and he's got to work his way back to that title shot.
So I've been, wasting my energy talking about the matchmaking when Arman isn't even mad about this. He knows what's going on. He needs one more fight. That's exactly what him and Dana White talked about. 2 fights to be able to come back and get a title shot. And now the question is, who is that going to be? And when is it going to be with the UFC rankings 1 through 9, everybody being busy, all right? At the end of the day, it is what it is. So with Dana White talking like that, we know for a fact Arman Tsoukian is not getting a title shot anytime soon. Now, there's one more thing that I want to talk about with you guys, man. Listen to this.
The president hasn't said, to this guy, but he will not stop talking about Derek Lewis. So it's a big fight for Derek coming up.
This is a huge fight for Derek the Beast Lewis. You guys, everybody who's been wondering who's going to be on this Whitehouse card, who's going to be the main event, who's going to be the co-main event, who is it going to be? Well, Dana White just informed us that Donald Trump absolutely loves Derek Lewis. And they were talking about the Whitehouse card. If Derek Lewis beats Waldo Cortez Acosta, a fighter who's trying to break the record for fighting 5 different times in 1 calendar year in the heavyweight division, absolutely ridiculous. If Derek Lewis can beat that man, January 24th, the first Paramount Plus deal card of the year, it looks like he will be fighting on the UFC Whitehouse card. It's official. All he got to do is go and beat Waldo Cortez Acosta. That's basically what Dana White just said right now. They love him, and they want him on this card. That is why this fight with Waldo is a ridiculously huge event. And now, thinking to myself, I know Derek Lewis definitely wants a piece of that Whitehouse pay. If he knows that all he has to do is get through Waldo to get that back, I ain't betting against him, my friend. I am not betting against Derek the Beast Lewis. A lot of people made that mistake in his last fight against Helison Cesaro. Not me, my people. Not me. absolutely breaking news when it comes to the UFC. We got one more pay-per-view coming up this Saturday. Everything that I just broke down to you, you can catch that at the UFC 323 post-press conference of Dana White. And that's all I got to say for today, my friends. I'll be at you guys with another video in a little bit. My name is Alex Ramos. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel, and I'm out.